Welcome Genesis International College students to this explainer of Topic 4. Today, we're diving straight into applying decorative paint finishes, specifically focusing on broken color effects. Now listen, you aren't here just to learn how to roll flat, single-colored paint onto basic drywall. No way! We're training you to completely elevate those surfaces. You're going to become true artisans, creating these multicolored, highly sought-after masterpieces. So, this explainer, it's basically your definitive guide to making that happen.
So, I want you to ask yourself this right off the bat. How exactly do you turn a completely flat, lifeless wall into a dynamic, textured, and multicolored finish? Like, how do you take a totally basic surface and give it actual depth, real character, and this almost tactile illusion? Well, that is the core challenge of today's lesson. And by the time we wrap up this guide, you're going to know exactly how to pull it off.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's your mental checklist, kind of like our recipe for today. 1. Understanding broken color effects. 2. Essential tools and materials. 3. Mastering scumble glazes. 4. Safety and site preparation. And finally, 5. The application method.
All right, let's get into Section 1, Understanding Broken Color Effects.
So, by definition, broken color effects are paint effects that produce a non-solid or multicolored finish. Basically, instead of a smooth, uniform coat of paint, you're intentionally breaking up that color. And you achieve this using some really specific physical techniques, things like rag rolling, sponging, or stippling. You are literally getting in there and physically manipulating those wet layers on the wall to alter the visual texture and actually reveal the layers underneath. It's pretty cool stuff.
Moving right along to Section 2, Essential Tools and Materials. Time to gather our specific ingredients.
And this brilliantly illustrates the basic setup you'll be working with. I mean, sure, standard brushes and rollers absolutely have their place for the base coats, but the real magic of broken color, that requires a very specific toolkit, totally designed for texture and manipulation. We're hitting the tools now.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the highly specialized nature of these items. You've got your rags, chamois, and sponges, which, are just fantastic for dabbing and rolling. You also have rag rollers. These are actually special sleeves you apply right over a standard roller. But those stippling brushes, they are totally unique because they can be used to add paint to a surface or intentionally take it away to reveal that base coat. You just combine these physical tools with materials like linseed oil, drying agents, and specialized paints, and boom, the whole shebang is complete. Your toolkit is ready.
Okay, Section 3, Mastering Scumble Glazes. Get ready, because this right here is our absolute secret weapon for graining, marbling, and broken colors. The true magic of a professional scumble glaze is all about its open time. These glazes are formulated specifically to stay wet and workable for way longer than your standard acrylic or enamel paint. It's like turning the wall into this giant, slow-drying canvas. And that extended open time? That's exactly what gives you the crucial window you need to really manipulate your pattern, to rag, sponge, or stipple it just right before the whole thing sets and locks into place.
So the crucial point is exactly how you mix it. A really common professional starting point for creating that perfect transparency is a 1:4 ratio. That's 1 part paint to 4 parts scumble. Mastering this 1:4 ratio is absolutely essential. It's what gives your finish that gorgeous, translucent depth instead of it just looking like a heavy, messy mistake on the wall.
All right, Section 4, Safety and Site Preparation. Let's slow things down for a second, because this is non-negotiable.
In your practical sessions, your Genesis trainers are going to guide you through what we call a chalk and talk. They'll demonstrate the techniques, the setups, and all the safety measures. But let me be perfectly clear with you right now. While the trainer demonstrates, actually owning that site safety is entirely up to you. You are the individual tradesperson. Securing your workspace is literally your responsibility.
So here is your non-negotiable checklist, and this happens before you even think about opening a single tin of glaze. First, select and double-check that your PPE is correctly fitted. Second, scan the whole area for hazards, especially ignition sources if you're working with certain solvents. Third, guarantee there is adequate ventilation, because trust me, those chemicals can accumulate fast. Fourth, always review your safety data sheets so you know exactly what you are handling. And finally, protect all surrounding surfaces with proper tarping and taping. Every single time, folks, no exceptions.
Okay, Section 5, the application method. Time to get our hands dirty.
Phase 1 of our method is all about substrate preparation. Once those safety checks are totally done,
you have to ensure the wall itself is perfectly smooth, clean, filled, and primed. Let me stress this. Actually, let me guarantee this. Attempting to apply a delicate, translucent, broken color finish on a poorly primed, dirty, or uneven surface is a surefire recipe for absolute failure. Your base simply must be flawless.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Phase 2, application. First up, you apply your solid base coat. And, this is huge, you must allow it to dry completely. Seriously, do not rush this step. Once it's dry, you brush or roll on your scumble glaze, and then, while that glaze is enjoying its open time, you strike with your chosen tool. Whether you're ragging or sponging, this is where you actively create that broken effect. Finally, once that beautiful, intricate layer dries, you just seal the whole thing in with a protective clear coating. Now here is exactly where the true professionals separate themselves from the amateurs: quality control. You are going to be required to maintain strict pattern consistency across a massive 6 square meter area. Your rag rolling or your stippling simply cannot look heavy in one corner and super light in another. It has to look like one continuous, seamless finish across the entire expanse of the wall. That's the standard.
So as you gear up to head into your practical sessions at Genesis International College, I really want you to think about this. Once you've completely mastered that crucial 1:4 mixing ratio and you can confidently maintain perfect pattern consistency, which broken color technique will become your signature finish? Are you going to be the master of the rag roll or maybe the expert of the stippling brush? Well, get out there, hit the tools safely, and let's find out.